Hey everybody, I'm here. We're going to talk about some Disney stuff, some other stuff, and kind of whatever's on my mind right at the moment, I guess. Here we go. Okay, I need to start out with hi, I'm Tom with Tom Tech Show. And today I'm going to start out with a simple little thing I have. So the lights that are behind me that go up and down when I speak, quieter and then louder and louder and louder, and they get higher and lower and all that. Well, they had stopped kind of working, and let me see if I can bring my roaming camera here. So here on my little regular microphone thing, I have this little tiny mic pickup, and the little connections here, there's 1, 2, 3 little solder connections there. Well, they had, from moving this all the time, trying to get it set and having problems and tapping it to see if it's actually working, those little solder points, one of them came disconnected, so I had to resolder it and everything else. And over here on the wall is grab my focus control here and go here, focus, here we go. All right, over here on the wall is this is of course a Arduino that is just running a simple set of code that then goes, and when I speak, the little lights go up and down. So I had to do some maintenance. I have my military issue field soldering kit that I got many years ago. A friend gave it to me, and I've parts are missing, all kinds of stuff and everything, but it still works. At some point I might get a new one. I don't know. Oh, if you can see here in the background here, yes, I have a Mickey shaped peanut butter cookie that I'm going to be munching on. That's, of course, because we cannot be in the park right now. So at some point, I do have, so these are from, Oga's Cantina. There's the little coasters, and that one's the Rancor, and this looks like the tail of a fighter of some kind. So I'd hoped to go back and continue collecting these little coaster things, but we can't go back yet. So, also, I was digging around my collection of myriad of Buzz Lightyear items. Right, I've got guns. This is like an original little gun from I don't know how long ago. This one might be a Disney World one. And then there's another Buzz Lightyear gun. That's the same. This other Buzz Lightyear gun is the same. So they all kind of make noise and stuff. Little stuffed Buzz Lightyears, everything else. But I found another Buzz Lightyear that is pretty near and dear to me. So we're going to flip over here. We're going to look at this one right here. So this right here is, see if it can go the correct focus and brightness. So we will turn the brightness down a little bit, and we will focus right in on it. There we go. So this is a Buzz Lightyear from pin from it says on the back here 2005. So you notice there's screws in the back here. I have replaced those screws, or replaced the batteries inside this thing several times, because if I flip the little switch, it blinks. It has a little blinky thing, lights that spin around, and I've never seen another pin like this. They did do another a second version of it, but it was not as good, didn't have as good of lighting and everything inside. So yes, I keep that up on my shelf with all my other Buzz Lightyear items right up here displayed prominently. I do have 3 Buzz Lightyear Pez dispensers, because there's different ones that are here. So this one just says that it's Pez on it. This one is just white. I think this is Toy Story 3. And then this one, which actually says on it on the front, Disney Parks. So they're all basically the same. A little bit of the color is a little bit different, but yeah, they're all, but they're all basically the same design, just some different colors, just to get me to buy more. They're a couple bucks a piece, and I bought them because, It's the man. It's Buzz Lightyear. And yes, behind everything in my Buzz Lightyear thing is an autographed picture of Tim Allen. So, so the collection is complete, right? Okay, so Disneyland. Are we going to get back into Disneyland? Are we going to get there at some point? At this point in time, the problem really is again what information that is out there, and is it good information? I mean, it's now coming out that the special time that we're in and the reason for it, that the problem may not be, the bad part of it may not be 3%, it may be 0.2%, which puts it way less than just regular flu. So granted, it's highly transmittable, which is why we had to close everything down. So I get that. So, but now we're finding out that it's not as dangerous. So maybe that'll lead us to getting into the parks sooner. But over out here, there's report after report that Disney's not opening till 2021. And Bob Iger reveals the biggest obstacle, of course, is trying to make people feel safe in the park, and that is really, I think, critical for even just the cast members, right? We want the cast members to be safe and stuff there. So a lot of, I would say, elderly people that are in the risk area are there in the parks. I mean, many retirees, we're eventually gonna move to Florida, and if I ever retire from my job and Disney World is right there, I for sure am going to run over there and get a job at Disney parks and spend every minute of my retirement years and stuff working at Disney and helping give magic to families and stuff. That's people that are there, right? So that's the other safety issue. I think the biggest thing is going to be whether you have the antibodies. I don't really like the thought of an antibody card, like you've already had it, so you have this card that says, that's a little much, but I know it might come to that. Here's another article report: Disney parks might not be open until January of 2021. So that kind of seems like a consensus here, but I think once the big thing, and I've talked about this before, is that the park capacity is what's going to be the problem. Here's another one. This is from Daily Mail, saying that Disney theme parks are unlikely to open their gates again until 2021, according to analysts. I put this other app up here because there's a lot of garbagey link ads there that I don't like. So, and this is a family-friendly show. So, it's going to take a while, but the more we know about, if they get a lot of hand sanitizer things in there, if they get employees wearing masks, and masks really don't stop you from getting it. It's if you have it and are carrying it and don't know it, then you won't give it to other people. That's really what masks are for. How you get it, right, is you more than likely touch something with your hands and then put your hands on your face. So, but I think we may have to go to something like, and then here we got the online check-in. We required a future Walt Disney World room reservations. So you're seeing people get these, Pop Century. You click the start check-in on the app, and then that starts your check-in, which is fine. I mean, I really would prefer going to a counter and interacting with someone, but you don't know. The problem is, of course, the person that if you don't have any symptoms and you're carrying it around and giving it to other people, is the person behind the counter an elderly person? Do they have diabetes? Do they have one of these challenging, conditions? Are they going to go home to their grandparents' house where they're living and then give it to them? That's always, kind of the risk that we don't want to have, right? So online check-in, I guess, is okay. But I think for park attendance, for just going to parks like Disneyland, like how are you going to keep all the Southern California people from just flooding into the park and having the park be, at capacity, 70,000 or whatever people inside the park. How are you gonna stop that? I think you're gonna have to go to like Shanghai Disney. You actually have to you select your number of tickets, and then you select the dates of when you're going to be there. So that's, everything is closed, but that's how some of the other Disney parks work. You have to select your dates that you're going to be there, and if a date gets to a certain capacity, then no more people can come in. Start capping the park at, I don't know, 30,000 or whatever that is that they feel is tolerable and safe for people to maintain space. Because at rope drop, everybody's packed right up next to each other. So that's going to be one big thing. But is it worth? So the other question after that is it worth maintaining the park if you're only going to let 30,000 people in? Is that going to be enough income into the park to pay all of the cast members that are there? Or is it going to be Disneyland, half the rides closed and half of the shops closed, and you not being able to go on all the rides that you want to go on, right? And some kind of limited ride opening kind of thing where it's not, some rides that are like, how do you do Buzz Lightyear where everybody has to hold on to the, to the gun? Everybody's got to hold on to the gun and, shoot the little targets. Well, are you going to have somebody after every ride coming and cleaning every gun every time as you go through? I don't, that's, rides like that may not be able to be open. Well, even just sitting in some of the rides with the metal handrails and stuff, is you going to have somebody cleaning the ride every time? Irregardless of waiting in line, right, for the ride, is as you get on the ride, is everybody going to get, a little disinfecting towel to clean everything off as the guest gets on? Is the guest going to do that? Or are they going to have cast members there cleaning all of the cars? How long is the wait line going to be for some rides? Peter Pan would be crazy to get through that. Buzz Lightyear would actually be good, because then that would leave you, it would take like 4 times the amount of time to go through the ride, which means you'd be able to hit more targets and get a higher score. So that might be okay, having somebody just quickly jumping on, they'd have to have like 2 or 3 people at where you get off the ride, jump onto the car, clean everything down, and then jump off, and just keep cycling through that and let the ride run a little bit slower as it goes through. So I don't know. Those are challenges I think that Disney's really going to have to deal with, and maybe that's the reason they're going to wait till 2021, because the whole virus problem, everything may continue and start up, again towards the end of the year, right? Once it gets colder again, and it may start happening, getting bad again. But I think they're not going to shut the economy down again next time. I think any time that it's the next time, I think if it gets bad somewhere, they're just going to shut that area down, and do it more localized. Let the states and local governments deal with, what they can and how much, the problem is. Just kind of like they're opening up. It's up to the states and up to the counties and cities to how far they're going to open up. Here in Ventura, open up the beaches and things like that for people to go walking and being able to get out, because that's really, really important. Getting out, getting in the sun, getting, vitamin D and the ultraviolet rays, which actually kill everything. So that would be good if you have it on your skin to stand out in the sun for 20 minutes. And, I don't know if that kills it or not. I'm not a doctor, but anyway, sun is good for us. It has a lot of good things for us. So, I do think we're going to have some type of reservation experience at every Disney park. And I don't know if they're going to limit, like if you have they already have the Flex Pass where you have to go in and select your days. So they already have code for that. they already have code here at Shanghai for selecting the days that you're going. I think in the Tokyo Disney, I think you already do that. You already have to select the dates that you're going to be in the park when you go there to get your hotel and everything else in park tickets. You have to select the dates as well there. So they already have code. They already have the ability to do that. They just have to move that to everyone getting in the park. Now, how that's going to work with people who aren't tech savvy or online, is that going to exclude those people? Possibly. Then they'll have to make it so that you can also call in to Disney services to be able to make those reservations and get those dates. But they're going to have to make that out public. That's how it's going to work. And I think that's what it's going to be. I'd be happier to go. I mean, I would just, if they do that, I would be putting in every weekend to go, right? I mean, if I have, we may get flex passes next time, I would just be putting in every weekend to go to the park every weekend. Because it's got to be, really light. If they only allow 30,000 or 40,000 people into the park, then that's going to be crazy light traffic. That's going to be like a really, really nice day at the park. So, for those people who are here, like in Los Angeles, who have annual passes, and that's the other thing, is that how do you have people who have the premium pass, the Disney, what is it? The Premier Plus or pass, that they have no blackout dates, the Signature Plus, no blackout dates or anything else, that maybe there'll be days that they can't go because there's no space for them on that day, right? It's at capacity. You're only letting 30,000 people in, and then suddenly, the Disney Signature Plus or Disney Signature Passport people can't get in on that day. So are you refunding people money of their Disney Signature Plus passport? Are you taking everybody's passport and moving it down to a flex, just to be able to move it down to a flex and still include the discounts and the max pass? So I mean, that would be another thing. Do we just only sell flex passports for 6 or 8 months, but include better discounts and better and include max pass? How relevant is max pass going to be when there's only 30,000 people in the park? I mean, is that, lines are going to be crazy if they're disinfecting every car after every person gets off every ride, right? So I think max pass is going to be almost irrelevant at that point. So, all right, well, those are some of my thoughts and everything going on about Disney. And Mrs. Tech Show is off taking care of her sister and her mom with dementia, and she's coming back on Monday. And the problem that we have is that usually, to help relieve some of the stress and everything of her coming back and being gone and dealing with the situation, we would head to Disneyland. And we can't do that right now, so that's, we got to find something else to do. Probably head out to the beach a couple of days and things like that. But so hope everybody's staying safe. Hopefully we can find some way to get back in. I mean, now would be, they can actually be offering some crazy packages to get into Disneyland and have there only be, like 1,000 people in the park, and do some special hyper Disney packages where you go to the park and no one is there, and maybe not all the rides are open, but a couple of them, and just have an amazing kind of special time for some families. That would be great. I'm sure that when they get to doing the letting people back in the park, that one thing that they're going to do is to have everybody sign some kind of legal document that relinquishes Disneyland of all chances of you, responsibility and everything of you being able to sue them if you get this virus thing that's going around. I'm sure that's going to be part of it. That terms of service are now, if you come to the park and you contract this, then you do not, hold Disney liable for anything. Disney is doing everything that it can. So, kind of thing. I think that's definitely going to be in there. I can't see them not putting something like that in there. Right. All right. Well, let's wrap this one up. I've been going on Disney for 20 minutes, and hope everybody's safe. Hope you're doing good. Hope you can get out. Hopefully, wherever you are, they're opening up things like they are a little bit here, and that will be all back to semi-normal very soon. All right. Well, if you had any comments or anything about what I've been talking about, how you're doing, or when you think the park's going to open, let's talk about that in the comments below. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.